everyone, it's Gloria from Scraps of Life. I have a little video tutorial for you today to show you how to make my paper flowers. I know that there are a lot of people out there that are making these. There are a lot of videos and tutorials, but I've been asked to share my technique with you for making these sort of vintage or grungy looking paper flowers made from paper, printed paper, designer paper. So here are a few flowers that I made for this little project. This is using the Graphic 45 Little Darlings collection, so they're more pale pastels but inked and still sort of grungy. And then here is another project that I made. This is a box that I made that has some paper flowers made with the Old Curiosity Shop line. So you can see flowers made with black paper. Then here is another set that I made for Halloween. So you can see that here are some sort of cream and black, edged in black paper roses made with tropical travelogue paper. So I'm going to show you how to make these today. The first thing you need when making the paper flowers in my style are a set of dies. The first set is this Spellbinders Rose Creations die set, and then the other is called Bitty Blossoms, and I use the two, the large and the medium sized blossom from that set. These are rolled flowers, where the Rose Creations set are flat flowers, and I'll explain that to you in a minute. Carnation Creations, and sometimes I use some of the flowers from this set to make my rolled roses. I also have a tendency to use the foliage. I use this for the leaves. To make our first rose, we're going to use the larger flower from the Bitty Blossoms set, and then 3 of the flat flowers from the Rose Creation set. These are all Spellbinders dies. We're basically going to make this flower here. The first thing we'll do is we'll take the largest of our 5-petal flower. You could use any flower that you have that has 5 petals. And I will take a, this is just a stylus from my stash, and we'll take and start rolling down the petals a little bit. Just kind of bending them, and as we bend the petal down, we'll sort of bend up to the center. It's just a gentle roll. If they sort of tear a little bit, it's okay. We can do the grunge look. So we're just bending, shaping the flower, pushing it up so that you sort of have something that is cupped and bent on the edges. You can use your fingers to roll it if you like. I like to use the stylus. Then we're going to take the second size. I think this is the second largest and third largest in that set of Rose Creation flat. Again, you'll just bend, and as you bend, you're pushing up towards the center. Rolling, bending, pushing up. And then you'll take the next flower, next size, and do the same thing. Bending, pushing up. Okay, you can see I tore this one a little bit. It doesn't really matter. We're going to glue it together anyway, but if it bothers you that you've torn one, just get a new one and try again. Usually when I cut these, I cut 2 or 3 times the amount that I think I'm going to need. That way if I want to add more flowers, or if I do tear or make a mistake, I have extra. So there we have our 3. I'm just going to take some white glue. I'm sorry, this bottle is very grungy. You can tell that I use it all the time. This is just plain white glue. I think I might have filled this little bottle with the Aleene's Tacky Glue, whatever white glue or fast dry glue that you like. Put a little bit of glue just on the back of the flower. These flowers have a hole in the center for a brad. Just kind of glue around that. And then I will set the flower offset, meaning the petals don't line up. I will line the petal up with the break of the larger size flower so that the petals are more natural looking. And as I kind of hold this for the glue to set, I'm bending and pressing towards the center. And I will do the same thing with the small flower. I will put a little bit of glue and then find where my break is. You can see that the break is here, so I want a petal to go where the break is. The little holes where the brad should go will line up pretty well. Now you could stop here and add a brad or something, a button or something to the center. You could make another smaller set of petals and place in there, but what I want to do to make this more look like a rose, this tight rolled look, is to roll the rose. We've cut the rose. This is what it looks like flat. And what you're going to do is you're going to roll the pattern that you want on the outside. You're going to roll in. It's counterintuitive. You think you would want this out, but you're going to roll in. So what I do is I take the little end of it and wrap it around my stylus. This flat part here is the bottom of the flower. So we're going to start out here and just start rolling, and I roll a couple of rolls around the stylus, and then I take the stylus out and then I just roll with my hands, and I keep it a little tight just to make it easy to roll, and I'm pushing up to keep it flat so the bottom is flat. The petals I let sort of just go where they will, but I hold and roll. For some of you this might look backwards because I'm left-handed. It sometimes looks backwards to people when I do it, but you're just rolling the flower. It's nice to cut a bunch of these and then watch TV while you roll. So when I get towards the end of the flower, see I have just a little bit plus that little flat tail, I put just a tiny bit of glue here and then I glue on the flat. Then I let that flower unwind as much or as little as I want and put that last petal and scooch it around so that the bottom of the flower is on that little flat circle that makes the bottom. And then I hold it down and press firmly down so that it glues to the base. And count to 10 in your head or something like that as you hold it. Once it's set and glued, so now you have this little bud, you will again take your stylus. And sometimes I will set these aside so it has more time to set up because it might not be completely set if I fool with it right away. But then I will take my stylus again and I will start bending the petals, and you can see now that the print that I wanted on the outside is now out. Sometimes I would just use my fingers and bend these petals down. Sometimes they tear a little. I don't mind that. If I do mind, I try to hide it. But you just bend, press and bend until you have it really kind of the look you want. You can see that mine's a little fuller on one side. You could add another small flat flower here to fill it out, but flowers aren't perfect, so it doesn't really matter about that. Once that's bent the way you like, you put a little bit of glue here on the bottom and then glue it right in the middle of the little 3 flower set that you made. And you can kind of turn it however you like so that it looks the way you want. And as I'm pressing that down, I'm pressing and rolling these other petals just to give it the shape that I want. then, to keep up with that grunge, I take a little bit of chalk ink. This is called Dragonfly Black. And I just gently brush the parts that are sticking up. It's going to hit the high points of the flower. And there you have it. That's how I make my rolled roses for my projects. It's very, very simple. I'm going to see if I can bring this closer so you can see. It's very simple. Now you can see that I have usually 2 different sizes of the rolled roses. So what I will do is take the smaller of the Bitty Blossoms set. There are 3 in this set. This is actually the medium size. And then 3 of the smaller petals from Rose Creation. These are the 3 smallest. And I will do the same thing that I did with the larger. Just bend and press. And we'll take this little flower again. We're rolling it, starting at the end, and rolling the print we want to show to the inside. You only make a mistake a couple of times before you'll remember to roll. If you don't have one of these spiral flowers, a die cut, you could cut one yourself. Just draw a spiral on a piece of paper and trim it out with maybe decorative scissors to give sort of a wavy edge. Then you do the same thing. You just roll it up like this. It gives a little bit different look. But you could do it if you don't have access to these dies. Lots of different companies make these dies now. I happen to have the Spellbinders version of these rolled roses. Again, a little bit of glue, let it unwind. This one I won't let unwind as much just because the flower is pretty small. But again, just kind of glue the bottom. Glued it to the scrap paper. Then bend the petals. A little bit of glue here. And stick it down in the center of your flower. And then just use your fingers to manipulate how you want the flower to look. Little ink. And there you have another vintage rose. So there you go. That is how you make rolled roses or handmade vintage flowers. Some people would say grunge flowers. Hope that you enjoyed the tutorial and that you got some new tips or techniques for making your own flowers.